Hey out there, everybody. Chris Renshaw here with Obsessive Comics Disorder, and I've got another board game review for you guys. It's been a little bit, but I'm back, and I've got something new for you guys, and that is Trains by AEG. This is a game, as it says on the box, it's all about trains. But what does that mean? There's a lot of games about trains. What makes this one so different? This is a deck building game in the style of Dominion. In fact, there's been a lot of comparisons to this in Dominion, and so let's check it out. All right there, everybody. Here we have everything that comes with trains, so you can see. So we'll start off here with the board. So this is what's different about this game as opposed to other deck building games. Is this nice, awesome looking board. There's two sides. We currently have it on the Tokyo side. So as you can see, there's all these different hexes and different patterns across the board. And then there's a point tracker that goes up and down the side. So the way this game works is the point of the game is to build the biggest train empire across the map. And you do that using the cards, just like you would in any other deck builder. Think Dominion here for a second. So you'll start off with cards such as a normal train. That gives you, it costs one to buy, costs one to buy, and it gives you one money. You'll get alley rails, which this is to let you expand your empire, but you'll get waste cards, which I'll go into in a minute. And then you'll get station expansion, which allow you to stations, which give you more points at the end of the game. And then in addition to this, so this will be in your starting deck, and then you'll have a number of other cards. These are just a couple of the example ones that come in here. You've got points, or you've got cards that just give you victory points, but they cause you to gain waste. You've got cards that just give you money, and then different kinds of money, but they just cost different amount. And then you've got these cards here, which are called randomizer cards. This is what makes the game different every time you play, is that all of these cards correspond to a stack of cards in the box. And so at the beginning of the game, you shuffle these decks and you deal them out, and then that chooses what cards you'll be playing with this game. In addition to these standard ones that I've got here out on the battlefield, or on the table, battlefield, whatever. But be careful, because you'll end up build stuff too fast and you end up with waste cards, which they can't be bought, which I don't know why you would want to. I don't know why it says that on the card. This is your filler card. Waste card is a card you get whenever you're building stuff, and then it stays in your deck, stays in your hand, fills up your hand, and then you can't play it until you get to a point where you have to not do anything for your whole turn, and then you can get rid of all the waste cards in your hand. So the way this works is you'll draw your hand like normal. You'll play cards, and you'll use the money generated from the cards to either buy more cards, more advanced cards, build your deck up. This part is just like a standard deck builder. Play cards, use money, buy better cards, then hopefully draw them up, and then use those to buy better cards. Where it comes into play on the board is lay rails and station expansion. What those allow you to do are to come back over here to the board, and you get these little cubes, which represent your rails, and you have these little cylinders, which represent your stations. And so what you end up doing is you end up using those cards to map yourself out across the board and try and spread your train empire as much as you can. So the way, and then at the end of the game, you get points based on how many stations how many rails you've made, how many stations that have been built out on the board, and the people that have claimed places in those stations. And then there's a whole mess of other points, but it costs more. The more you try and go, and the more that other people try and play, that your paths end up crossing, and it ends up costing more to go through those people. So there's a lot of strategy involved here out on the board, in addition to all the cards that you can choose over here on this side. So there's a lot of in-depth strategy here in this game, and there's a lot to work with that just makes it so much more in-depth than some of your other typical deck building games. So this is everything that comes in Trains. I'm going to give you one last pan again. So that is everything that comes in Trains. Now we will go back and we'll talk about my thoughts on the game. So, what do I think about Trains? I gotta say that, first of all, not a big fan of Dominion. I don't like Dominion. I've played it before. I don't like it. Like when you have all these cards available, and especially if you play against people that have played before or are really good at Dominion, then it really sucks because they know, they see cards and like, I'm gonna get this card, I'm gonna get that card, I'm gonna get this card and this card, and it's gonna build a thing, and now I'm winning the game. And I'm like, points. Where do I get points? So it's not really thrilled me enough to want to play it again. This, however, Trains, a lot more fun for me. The aspect of the board just and laying out all the trains, something about that just makes me understand how the cards work better. And even after playing a game, as I'm playing it, I'm starting to realize, okay, this card clearly is better than this card. And I'm seeing why, because I see how it pertains to getting points on the board. And the focus is to get the points from the board with addition of the couple of the apartments and those cards. But the points are going to be seen on the board, maybe. And I know these what cards are going to get me points on the board. So it helps my mind click a little bit better. I have a lot more fun with this than I did when we played Dominion. So this game absolutely replaces Dominion for me. If I was given the option, I would totally pick this over Dominion. Chloe loves it too. My daughter Chloe, she's played Dominion as well, and she said the same thing. She much prefers Trains to Dominion. So, as we said, that's Trains by AEG. You can find this at your local game store or Amazon, CoolStuffInc.com, a lot of great places. So I highly recommend you go pick it up. And thank you guys for listening to this video. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for other great videos that'll be coming out in the next couple weeks. And also remember, you can comment and talk to me on Twitter. I'm at Chris the Prof, or on Facebook, facebook.com/Obsessive Comics Disorder. If you want to see the full board game podcast that I do, where I talk about all the games I'm playing, make sure you head on over to check out the Boards and Swords podcast over at boardsandswords.com. Thanks you guys for listening, and I will see you next time.